Would you believe I'm live? Man. There is a sense of deja vu. Oh my god. Oh my god, you can hear me. Oh god. This is excellent. So I'm not sure how much you actually could hear from the previous few rounds. I'll just start from the top. I'll take it from the top. So it's my first live stream since a good while. I did not do much YouTubing throughout October. I neglected the 31 Days of Horror challenge. I do love horror movies. I do like spooky stuff. I do like having somebody out there who can actually hear me tonight. So cheers, yeah. I mean, wow. I'll just have a quick sip here. So what I want to do tonight is just share with you a few cool movies I discovered throughout October. Before I do that, I would like to give a warm welcome to the great bird who's stuck with me through several technical hiccups. Very, very cool. Thank you for joining me. I hope that the audio is still steady, that you're still picking me up. And thank you. There's been a few people who joined my channel throughout October. I just want to give a quick welcome to Hobbs Horror, Ian Mason, Hotties and Horror Movies. This channel had a quick look at, and these ladies, what they do is they watch chunks of contemporary horror movies, and they sort of comment. Then there is Kevin Main, there is Max Dalton, Maya Atkinson, and I want to have I'd like to share, like, I mean, there is this guy called the Ice Lord. His channel is the Ice Lord. This guy's name is Wes, and he's been championing me around the YouTube. So thanks, Wes. I mean, he might be around later. We'll see. So he's cool. So the Hagstone Demon is the first movie I'd like to talk to you about. This is a black and white movie shot on a DSLR camera. It stars Mark Borchardt of American Movie. So he's like in the lead role in the Hagstone Demon. And incidentally, Sony recently released American Movie on Blu-ray, finally upgraded from DVD to Blu-ray. And so I really can't wait to get my hands on that one. I mean, I know it's out in North America. I hope there is, because I'm here on the continent, so I hope there is also going to be like a Region B Blu-ray or something. So back to the Hagstone Demon. I love black and white movies. Mark Borchardt is obviously famous for Coven or Coven, depending on how you want to pronounce it. It's this shot on 16mm black and white extravaganza. And so the Hagstone Demon is like a feature-length movie, but it's shot digitally. And it has obviously, all the attributes of a grassroots production. So the sound is actually okay, and the visuals are quite atmospheric when it comes to like the nighttime scenes, especially the exteriors. There is some good stuff. There is some spooky stuff, and the acting from Mark Borchardt is decent. I mean, he's not gonna win any awards. He probably is gonna win some awards, but not like for like the most authentic performance. But he's committed, and the movie aims high. This is what I like about when somebody makes a movie with their own pocket money, without studios, without like money people. A lot of the time, the filmmakers don't set the bar very high. They're kind of self-conscious of being like no budget, and they just try and sort of be very tongue in cheek. Whereas with the Hackstone Demon, that was a very decent, earnest stab at making a kind of, in a way, creature feature really set around this semi-dilapidated building, and there is something evil dwelling, I think, in the ground floor or even the basement. So, how did I even come across this movie, The Hackstone Demon? I was looking through Mark Borchardt's IMDb, and I saw that he had this lead role in this movie, which apparently did quite well in regional festivals and things. So I had to check it out. I know it had like a DVD release in the States, and I'm in two minds about this movie. Like I said, I like to champion those kind of movies, but it's got to be said that the interior shots, the lights, the way they lit the interiors was very different from the atmospheric outdoor stuff. So they overlit a lot of scenes, so eliminating shadows, they eliminated most of the atmosphere, to be honest with you. And then there was quite a lot of nudity in this film as well, which it's all right. It's just it didn't really have to be there, and it was a little bit overwhelming. It was like too much flesh and things like that. God, I feel like I'm rattling off of a script here, of a teleprompter, because I did try and talk about this movie, but the sound wasn't quite as good. So the Hackstone Demon also has some prosthetic effects, and the reason this movie doesn't quite work 100% is that the script becomes a bit more conventional towards the end. So there are some weird religious motives, and in the end, it's up to our hero just to blow away the evil with his handgun. So that's not exactly the most original way to culminate your horror film, but still, if you are in the mood, if you want to try something a little bit more homegrown, the Hackstone Demon isn't the worst movie you could go with, especially if you're a fan like me of determined filmmakers, the likes of Mark Borchardt. By the way, I was really sad, and that was one of the bum notes throughout October, is when this guy died, Mark's friend, Mike Shank. I was like, the best ones always go first, man. I mean, he seemed like such a genuine guy, and yeah, I mean, so that's the Hackstone Demon. I love black and white movies. There is another film which, God, I have to bring up my list now. There is this movie called, yeah, Route 666. This was something I remembered from the VHS days. The movie I used to skip whenever I went to the rental store back then, and it had a kind of a dodgy cover, and it didn't look very inviting. So, hang on a sec. Ugh. There. So Route 666 stars Lou Diamond Phillips, not my favorite actor, but this movie has an odd something. I don't know why, but it kept haunting me throughout the years. So I finally gave it a try. And the other actor in it is the black guy who was like the demon hunter from Jason Goes to Hell. And this black guy is really good. I gotta look up his name. He's like the only really standout actor in the movie. What's the deal with this film is there is this I think it's Texas or somewhere like that. Anyway, there is this gang of kind of zombies slash ghosts, and they have to stay on the tarmac on the road, and they can only materialize if you like, if you're walking alone or along the road. So as long as you kind of keep off it, they can't really get at you. But if you do happen to get into the clutches, there is this quite gory stuff going on for like an early 2000s movie. It's like a hybrid between action. Oh man, yes, yes, yes. You remember the trailer, man. Anyway, I gave it a watch, and surprisingly, despite some weird shaky cam, which I'm not a fan of shaky cam, that's really been done to death. But in that film, in that context, it seemed to add something to the creepiness because one of these monsters has like a jackhammer thing, and he actually like drills some of the victims to death. Like if you remember the movie The Church, they did the same thing in the church. There was like a quite a nice drill bit in that. So this was cool. So there was like splashes of blood, and then there was some strange acting. Like I don't like the movies about like self-righteous cops. Like when Steven Seagal is a cop, or somebody like I'm the law. I'll just blow you away and get away with it. So like Lou Diamond Phillips plays that kind of character in Route 666. So he's not somebody you really want to like follow in the film. But like I said, the other guy, the like his prisoner, the black guy, he's really cool. So I enjoyed that film. Strangely, it felt refreshing. I had like a horrible day, and that movie picked me up. It's nothing really fresh or new, but somehow it did work, and I can even imagine seeing it again. There was some good cinematography, and yeah, I've seen way worse from more recent times, like this new Hellraiser movie. I didn't mean to bring this up, but the new Hellraiser movie, oh God, help me God. Yeah. So what else did I see in October which maybe isn't horror related? Yeah, there is this classic British film, The Pool of London, with Earl Cameron. Now, a friend of mine has been working on a documentary about Earl Cameron. In case you don't know who that is, I mean, this gentleman passed away at the age of like 102 or something. He was like one of the first black people to be like a successful cinema actor in Britain. And The Pool of London was his breakout role, and Earl Cameron went on to appear in Thunderball alongside, was it Shankari? So yeah, I mean, this is the chief reason why I checked that movie out. And The Pool of London, I think it's by this director called Basil Dearden, and that was a cool film. I really like the bombed out ambience because it's like post-war London, and you see that really authentic, just scarred streets and like urban decay. I love that, and the movie moves very briskly. So decent film, Pool of London. Uh, what can I say about it? There was some melodrama in it, but I like melodrama. If it's earnest, I like it. The older and mellower I get, the more I like melodrama and the less gore I require from my movies. So that's something. The Pool of London. I've been meaning to check this out for such a long time. And there is The Hidden. Do you know Jack Shoulder? This is the director who made the first sequel to the Freddy Krueger, The Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy's Revenge, I think it's called, which is a very cool one. And he also made a decent sequel to The Wishmaster, Wishmaster 2 Evil Never Dies. Jack Shoulder is still around, but he's retired now. I think he's a bit of an unsung hero because also directed Alone in the Dark, which is this early New Line Cinema movie with Donald Pleasance and Martin Landau and Jack Palance. Very atmospheric with beautiful score by an Italian composer. It's a weird kind of proto slasher with a strange European vibe and very, very good vignettes in it. So Jack Shoulder helmed also this movie, The Hidden, with Kyle MacLachlan and Michael Nouri. I was glad to have checked that one out. It's like a Terminator clone, but set like more in, I think, more in the daytime, and it's got more aliens than cyborgs and no time travel. And it's a little bit like one of those Terminator ripoffs, like the way Warlock, this Steve Miner film, was like also like a Terminator reimagining, you would say. Nice, nice. The Hidden seems to be doing the rounds. It's been such a long time since I've been meaning to check it out because it just looked so promising. And did you enjoy it? Thanks for joining the stream. And I do, I do feel a kind of touch of pride for not giving up. Yeah. So in that film, I thought Michael Nouri's character, again, because he's a self-righteous cop, those kind of characters really, I don't appreciate those. So I didn't like that guy a lot. But then there was Kyle MacLachlan, who was so bland, deliberately bland, and kind of zoned out, and he was cool. He was like giving like another David Lynch performance outside Twin Peaks. That was cool. Yeah, I mean, see, I'm on the roll. I've obviously been checking out some of the stuff I remember from way back, and I was like, yeah, those movies. I think I would like to, that guy Jack Shoulder. I wish he'd done more, but I'm really happy he's a bit under the radar because his movies are not at risk of getting remade like the way all the recent ones like the Candyman, Hellraiser, what's coming. I mean, now they remade Salem's Lot, which is all those remakes. Back when I was like horror obsessed, a teenager who was just fixated on horror, had I known that there would be this string attached that years later I'd have to like suffer through all the remakes, I would have really probably thought twice before even renting all these movies. So yeah, The Hidden. I could see myself rewatching that one again pretty soon. And the finale was a little bit, the end when it's like, is it happy end? Quite not quite the happy end. So that was also, it had like a touch of darkness to it. So it wasn't completely just, you know, um, clear sky. There was a touch of something maybe. So I like that a lot. I had something here I wanted to show you. I actually had this on for later tonight, but now that my stream got delayed, does anybody know this film? Blind Beast, 1969. I'm slowly, cautiously feeling my way into Japanese cinema. Now, I've had some variable experiences with Japanese cinema. Oh, yes, I see. Yes. So I watched a few minutes of this early this morning, and it looked amazing. So I cannot wait to dig into it. I'm not sure I'll have the time tonight because it's kind of late, but I'll be checking it out, and if it's as good as the opening promises to be, then I'll do like a proper review. This guy, there is another movie he made. I'll mangle the name now. My Japanese is not good. Anyway, it's based on a mystery. Yes, has a lot of great films. You've seen Blind Beast. Okay, well, wow, see? I'm behind on Japanese experimental movies, I guess. Ah, Wes! Hey, man! We'll, you know, we'll talk a bit later, right? I'm just talking about the Blind Beast here, and then yeah, we'll have to connect, Wes. It's good of you to join us. So, am I right in being excited about this one? Oh, it's like perfect. Like it's the kind of runtime I like. It's just around like 84 minutes, between 75 and 85 minutes. That's like it's the sweet spot for me. And what I liked about it was like the panoramic shots, but it wasn't like trying to be epic. It was just to the point and sort of not overdoing it, but there was some dark stuff. There was some imagery. They were hinting at something that was going to be quite not a family movie, I guess. Blind Beast. Oh my god. Oh my god. There is a sequel. Oh God. Okay. What am I getting myself into here? So this guy, Rampo Edogawa, he's like this murder mystery author. So this is how I actually kind of got curious about this film because I was not sure how did they adapt his novel because he kind of writes those kind of Agatha Christie's puzzle style murder mysteries. How the hell did it end up into this sleazy psycho thriller thing? So did they just eliminate? I wonder if anybody has. I don't think the novel is probably not available in English. Ooh, it's an S&M movie. Ooh, God. Okay, thanks. Now I'll definitely have to watch it. I'm so pleased Arrow bother with this kind of material. These movies. I mean, awesome, awesome. So I'll be checking this out and spreading the love. Wow. There is an audio commentary. I never listen to audio commentaries unless it's the person who was in the movie, part of the crew. I never listen if it's like an expert or something, very rarely. So, but it's a good transfer, and I love The Grain. It's like a very authentic looking movie. Oh my god, that is his worst. Well, okay, okay. Well, it's good to have people out there who kind of, look out for my mental well-being. This is cool. I just, when the opening credits came up, that was like sort of those hieroglyphics kind of branded on top of like black leather or something. That already was very promising, and I like that it didn't start out bombastically. So this is going to be something for later. So this filmmaker, what can you tell me? I mean, is he still around? Did he peak around that time, 1969? Was it like his kind of the pinnacle of his creative prowess, or did he go on into the 70s? Oh man, I was so looking forward to doing this stream, and then there was a frustrating parenthesis where I had to like sort of soliloquize here with like noise music instead of good sound. Yeah. There was somebody on earlier from Hungary, and they kept asking me. There was a person called Horoscope, like horoscope, and they asked me about like Andrea Bianchi and Bruno Mattei, and I haven't covered movies by those authors on my channel yet. I don't think. Obviously, I am very aware of those authors. I am working actually on a video of Strip Nude for Your Killer, which is Andrea Bianchi's, like, some people say it's like his most s- technically kind of proficient film. So I'm working on that. Kisses from 1957. He did a lot of cool films. All right. Well, you see, the Third Pill blog is somebody who's been kind of nudging me in the direction of Korean and Japanese films for like 12 months. So obviously, I'm budging slowly. I'm saying, okay, I will not do like eighth version of a Dario Argento, you know, Dark Glasses review. I'll just probably watch something else. So thank you, the Third Pill blog. You are very patient and you are very knowledgeable as well. Like when you leave your comments, a lot of the time I don't even know how to answer because I just read your stuff and it kind of points out all the things I could really, I could learn, I could, you know, partake of that greatness which is out there. I don't know more than you about Japanese cinema or Asian cinema. I just know my four corners, which is Jess Franco, Jess Franco, Jess Franco, and a little bit of Dario Argento. This is where I'm comfortable, and this is where like I prefer to dwell, and this is where my audience wants me. I think. Jean Roland. Well, a little bit. Thank you. So yeah, that's my backup. If I don't have any Franco I'll just go with Jean Roland for sure, for sure. Oh Christ. Well, I'll be damned. I never thought I'd wow, actually have people watching and commenting. This is an honor. This is cool. Let me just quickly consult my list. What else? Yeah, there is a movie called Jungle Fever, which is from Spike Lee. Anybody knows that film? That was another one which really brightened up my October. That was like Wesley Snipes back when he was still like up and coming and very much, in demand actor. And that was like, I like that film. With Spike Lee, it's like, to be honest with you, it's like swallowing crushed light bulbs for me. I do find that he's out to get you and hurt you. Oh, it's like early 90s. Oh, Wes. Yeah. Well, I think for technical reasons, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So, Jungle Fever is amazing, and I've been meaning to check it out for a while because I used to get hung up a little bit on Do the Right Thing, which is a movie that really hurts me every time I watch it, like hurts my mind. There is many contrary feelings I go through, and they're like, it makes me angry, it pisses me off that film does. But with Jungle Fever, I felt it was a more gentle experience, and I could feel it because in my life, I mean, I'm a bit of an outsider because I do kind of travel around a lot and stuff. So I know that feeling that because that movie is a little bit about being like maladjusted and not really, not really being like 100% when you don't belong. So that was cool. And also, it was odd watching John Turturro like play a non completely annoying character. So he was like actually meant to be like a little bit sympathetic in that film. Like he's a backward character, but interesting. So Jungle Fever, definitely, I'll be watching that one again. I'm not equipped to really, speak about Spike Lee because I've discovered him very recently, and a lot of his stuff just goes over my head, and a lot of his stuff is also I just do not like. To be fair with you, there is some of his movies where I think his intention is just you know anger and trying to lashing out at people via his work. So Jungle Fever, I mean, there was so much good in that film. There was a great relationship. I can't remember who played his dad, John Turturro's dad. I think it might have been the great late Anthony Quinn, the guy from Across 110th Street, Zoba the Greek. I think it was him, and they had a nice. I like movies when there is like relationships going on, not necessarily like boy girl thing, but more like just where you can sort of zero in on people and how they sort of nudging each other towards becoming a different person. So those are fights, really, when you're trying to talk somebody into becoming somebody else. And there was great examples of that in Jungle Fever. There is gonna be a Cronenberg, like a mini retrospective end of the month in my favorite neighborhood cinema, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I can make it to most screenings. And I will be watching The Fly, which I've never seen in my life. I saw the beginning as a kid and it scared me. It kind of disgusted, freaked me out. So I never watched, I still got the tape, never finished it. And they're bringing The Fly in 35 millimeter for like a one off screening. So I'm very excited about that one. It's so cool when the sound isn't cutting out. It's amazing. Yeah, I hear that it's supposed to be one of his best. I mean, I'm sure it is. I mean, I like that actor. What's his name? Jeff Goldblum. I think he's pretty good in everything I've seen him in. Like the Invasion of Them. What was the film where he's like with Spock? What was the film? Invasion of. Oh man, the Kaufman film. Body Snatchers. Thanks, because I'm thinking Flesh Hunters. That's wrong. That's like wrong. So I think he's great. So I look forward to that. And they are probably going to be screening a few other Cronenberg films. Most definitely Videodrome, which is another film I used to hate and now I like. I really like it now. Even though James Woods isn't really my idea of like a great leading man, but in that film he's more than fine. He's really good actually. Dear friends, I will be calling it a night. I am so honored. Thank you very much for sticking it out and being so patient. I'll be talking to you again because I'm really curious to watch a little bit more of this. and there is only 24 hours in my day. Black Klansman, yeah, I enjoyed that too. Actually, I saw that recently for the first time, and even though obviously they kind of exaggerated the true story, it's still a cool film, definitely. And what surprised me also, having watched it later, I checked it out. And apparently, it was actually made on analog film. Like my Blu-ray, I wasn't sure it could have been shot on like an Alexa or something. It didn't look that filmic to me. But yeah, I mean, this is like fair play to Spike Lee for trying from time to time to make like an authentic period piece. Another cool film from him, which I don't think it really works, but that was my first ever Spike Lee. That was the Summer of Sam, and occasionally I watch it. And to be fair, last time I watched it, didn't work for me at all, but it kind of opened the door for me and got me interested in Spike Lee. But that film again is, I think it's a bit misguided, but again, I could totally see myself rewatching it, and maybe it will, you know, shine at me with like a new light. And I always have this weird feeling that Meatloaf plays the psycho in it, the killer, but it's not Meatloaf, it's just some random actor. I don't know why I always think that it's the guy from Fight Club playing Sam, son of Sam. So thanks a lot, everybody who stuck around. I'm going now, and hopefully, I'll be talking to you again very soon. So, gute Nacht, buonanotte, and all that stuff, huh? Ciao.